Forget raising the debt. One congressman says just cutting contributors will do it. He'll be introducing a bill to force federal civilian employees to take off 2 unpaid weeks each year. Colorado Congressman Mike Coffman joining me right now. Congressman, good to see you.
Great to be with you.
How will this work? Would this include you, by the way?
It would. You know, we need some leadership here in Washington, D.C. when it comes to cutting this budget deficit. And so my proposal has a 10% pay cut for all members of Congress and a 2-week furlough for federal employees unless they're in public safety or law enforcement, national security. There's some discussion to the president, but it saves about $5.5 billion a year.
You know, I think you're onto something, Congressman. And you know, ironic, people forget that Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, who's battling for her life in Arizona,
Sure.
She was among those advocating a cut in pay for congressmen and their staff as a way to make a statement. I think she was looking at a time that would be about a 5% cut, but it could be accelerated to 10%. So there does seem to be some bipartisan agreement here, but are there enough votes here?
You know, I don't know, but you know, it's simply because of the fact that the Washington and the federal government have a printing press. They haven't had to make the sacrifices that are made in the private sector, as well as a lot of state and local governments across this country. My own state of Colorado last year did 8 furlough days, and so this proposal has two non-consecutive weeks. But you know, we're not feeling the pain here in Washington, D.C. We're immune from it all, and we need to. You know, we need to be part of this equation. We need to be part of the solution. And this bill is the first step in that direction, albeit a small one relative to the size of the deficit, but an important one, I think, to send a message to the American people that we're in this too.
What if no one notices? In other words, you take 2 weeks off, no pay, and everyone notices Washington just jolly goes on, nothing changes, life is great. Then what happens?
Well, if this proposal is implemented and folks take the 2 weeks furlough days, then we got too many folks here, and we need to take a look at that too.
All right, Congressman, we'll watch closely. Congressman Mike Coffman, Republic, Colorado, and keep in mind that that was one of the things that Congresswoman Giffords was and is very hot on, this idea that legislators don't need to be paid so much. So there is more support for this than you know. All right, the week we never saw